Hello and welcome to the Viva examination workshop. Evidently a video version of the workshop. And for that reason, things are going to run a little bit differently compared to the face-to-face version. Now, of course, I say of course, perhaps you don't know this yet, but I tell you now, this is a rather lengthy workshop and it's full of quite a lot of information that's to be expected considering the topic at hand. So with that in mind, I'm going to break this video down into smaller chunks or chapters, however you want to view it. And I invite you to self-navigate. So in other words, pick and choose which videos are most relevant to you. But of course, bear in mind that I strongly recommend that you follow all the videos sequentially, so from start to finish in numerical order, if you can and if you have the time. And of course, as is the case with any workshop, online or otherwise, if you have any outstanding questions, issues, concerns, or if perhaps there were things that have not been covered in the way that you would have liked, then do feel free to get in contact with me directly. My email address is cag78@cam.ac.uk. Alternatively, you can book a one-to-one session with me that will happen virtually. We'll use Zoom or Skype, whatever works best for us. You can do that by going on to UTBS, that's the university booking system that you typically use to register for face-to-face workshops. You can go on there, go into research and development, and you will find that there are one-to-one slots available with me. Just pick the time that suits you best. That will come through to me and then I'll get in contact with you. Okay, so on to the workshop itself. I said a moment ago that this workshop would be broken down into chunks or chapters. Well, the first chunk following this introductory one is really going to look at the definition and the purpose of Viva. And it's very good to understand both the definition and purpose in order to manage your expectation appropriately and to enter the Viva on the day, that examination, with an awareness of what you're trying to achieve. You know, having a greater clarity, having a target that you want to hit. So we're not going in there blind, in other words, or you're not going in there blind. I say we because I'm there with you in spirit. Following that, the following chapter will be on ways that you can prepare for your Viva. So some pretty practical tips there, tried and tested methods. Certainly recommend taking a look at that. Following that, we'll talk about how you can practice, in addition to preparing, how you can actually practice answering questions and what to do if you come across questions that you simply cannot answer, or likewise, if your mind goes blank. How do you deal with that? And it has happened, and I'm sure many of you are quite anxious about that, but you'll be relieved to know that there are effective ways around it, and we'll cover those ways. We will then move on to outcomes, potential outcomes, and next steps. And finally, I'm going to leave you with some tips on, well, how to make a plan for your Viva. Very practical tips. Okay, so the chapters or chunks are organised according to those headings. Okay, now I should also add that for those of you who have a Viva coming up in the next couple of months, the chances are incredibly high, if not certain, that the Viva will take place virtually. That means to say over the internet, probably using something like Zoom or Skype or Teams, something like that. And that's going to change a little bit the essence of the Viva. So I'm going to sprinkle in relevant information where relevant, throughout the chapters concerning Vivas, virtual Vivas, okay? So please do look out for that if you have a Viva that is coming up soon, okay? Other than that, I think we can move on, or you can move on. So that's the end of this video, and I hope that it was enough to entice you to carry on into the next one. If not, then, well, let me know why not. But I'm gonna assume that you're enticed. So I'll see you in the next video.